The saga of 90 Day Fiance franchise super couple Warne and Sophie. Sierra appeared to be over after they broke things off on 90 Day, the last resort. But at the tell-all, we learned that they weren't quite finished yet. Sophie and Rob appeared on 90 Day Fiance after meeting on Instagram and trying to make their long-distance relationship work. Sophie is from the United Kingdom, while Rob was born and raised in Los Angeles. Rob and Sophie had a tumultuous relationship, breaking up multiple times over things like her disapproving family, trust issues, and Rob's financial situation. Rob and Sophie also appeared on the spin-off 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, before landing on 90 Day, The Last Resort Season 2. They'd been separated prior to The Last Resort, but still went on the show in an attempt to save their marriage. Sophie and Rob went through the steps of couples counseling, but in the end, they couldn't make it work. After going through 90 Day, The Last Resort's counseling, they decided to wait until the recommitment ceremony to decide whether they'd stay together. At the recommitment ceremony, Rob wanted to make the marriage work, but Sophie chose to leave, leaving him heartbroken. She had said Rob just wasn't her dream man, and she didn't want to remain in the marriage. The two broke up and apparently didn't speak for months after The Last Resort wrapped filming. Not for long, though, as the two admitted on the 90 Day, The Last Resort tell-all that they'd been intimate since leaving the show. When host Sean Robinson asked whether Sophie and Rob had been together sexually since the resort, they both smirked and tried to evade the question. Finally, Sophie revealed they had. She took him behind a curtain backstage to show him her new breasts, and he went willingly. Rob and Sophie elaborated on the timeline of their relationship, saying they'd gone to Disneyland together to reconnect as friends after The Last Resort. Rob said he was still a little hopeful that things might work out with them, but he didn't want to get too ahead of himself, so he was treating her like a friend during their time at the happiest place on earth. Their hookup started shortly after Disneyland. Sophie said that they'd been hooking up a lot for a few months after Disneyland. Ultimately, she decided that hooking up with Rob wasn't healthy for her. Since they didn't intend to get back together and sleeping together was making Sophie feel bonded to Rob, they decided to stop seeing each other. So when they met on the stage at the tell-all, they hadn't been together for a couple of months. There doesn't seem to be any animosity between the former couple when they meet at the tell-all. In fact, there still seemed to be a flirtatious energy between the two. Sophie told Sean she was on a self-love journey since the retreat, but that she was very hurt when she found out Rob was seeing another British woman. He found another girl that was just like me, Sophie said, to which Rob smiled and agreed. But he said that his new girl being British wasn't a green flag. It was just a coincidence.